Hey all, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about strengths, but specifically how not knowing what they are can affect progress. I'm Keith.
What's happening? My name is Rodney, beautiful people, and this is the Daily Chronicle, where we chronicle all the things we do in our day, like driving in LA traffic, and we're leaving letters, videos, vlogs for our daughters so they can have notes on how we got through some of this stuff as we're moving. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about how not knowing our strengths affected our ability to work together or on teams in general. So Keith, what's your first take on not knowing your strengths?
Yeah, it's funny because I think my first take on it is a focus on weakness, right? Like we have the tendency to look at developmental areas. And I think there's plenty of information out there that talks about focusing on your strengths. But really, from a team perspective, not knowing what our individual strengths were really slowed us down in many areas. Primarily because, ego kicks in and it's like, oh, he's doing this, maybe I should be doing that. And maybe we'll delegate and just tell each other, hey, let's both tackle the same thing. And then it ends up coming out, maybe it's a lesser product or it's an inefficient process, whatever it may be. Really, early stages impacted us. What about you?
My main thing is that the misalignment of it is draining. And so when I'm doing a role that's just really more catered towards you, I can drag through it for a few days. It's like, hey, it's just the two of us. We got to get stuff done. And this is the same for any team I've been on, like any job I've been in. When I'm doing that thing that, for me, spreadsheets are not a thing that I like to be in. So it's draining. But when I'm aligned and I'm doing something that's like, man, I'm connecting with people and I'm connecting bam, I'm on fire and I'm really into it. So to Keith's point about losing efficiency, a lot of that had to do with just energy drain. I was moving slower, and then when I accomplished a task, I didn't want to move on to the next one. So that's how not knowing my strengths has affected me throughout time and on teams.
Yeah, and I think the important point is not knowing, because you end up trying to do things maybe you think you're good at, maybe you're trying to find a way to be better at because you're really focused on your weaknesses, and it can really just slow down. So
plus I would even add, I've always been one to understand the gaps on the team and try to fill them regardless of my desire to do that thing or really skill. My skill could be low, but hey, we need this, so I'm going to try and do it. And it's probably done at 5% of what it needs to be done versus taking the time to find somebody else or ask somebody else to do it.
They say, CEO is really the person that knows how to surround themselves to fill the gaps of their skill set, right? Or an effective CEO. And I think that's just the reality of it. It's the not understanding those strengths really puts a strain on the ability to collaborate and work effectively and move forward quickly and efficiently. So
the question of the day is, how has not understanding your strengths and or weaknesses affected you in your career, or how is it affecting you now? In the in the comments down below.
Amen. All right.